There is a bonkers fight going on for control of the Pennsylvania State House right now, with both parties declaring a majority and a Democrat and a Republican state representative declaring themselves the majority leader and claiming they're in charge. Now, this is exactly what so many feared would happen, right? Since we first saw the emergence of election deniers in 2020, but this is different. It's quirkier, and both sides have a real argument. The stakes are high on everything from voting laws to abortion. Whoever controls the House majority will get to decide if certain proposed amendments are put to a statewide vote. Now, Democrats actually won more state House seats in Pennsylvania by just one seat, in theory making it 102 to 101. But one of the state representatives who won actually died in October, a month before the election, but there wasn't enough time to take his name off the ballot. So he still won. Two other Democratic state representatives who won re-election later resigned because they were elected to higher office. Representative Summer Lee was elected to Congress, and Austin Davis is now the lieutenant governor-elect. And so the way Republicans look at it, those vacancies actually flip the balance of power, giving them the majority, 101 to 99. But Democrats say the voters have spoken, and they want us in charge, that those are Democratic seats, even if it's up in the air about which Democrats actually sit in them. Both sides held dueling swearing-ins. House Democrats swearing in Representative Joanna McClinton as Majority Leader and Acting Speaker. House Republicans swearing in Representative Brian Cutler.
As the Republican leader, I was sworn in as the Republican leader. It is the math that makes me the Majority Leader at 101 to 99.
McClinton, for her part, tweeted this about holding special elections for those vacant Democratic seats as soon as possible. Quote, therefore, in my capacity as Majority Leader and Acting Speaker, I'll issue a writ of election when the new session begins to do just that. Now, Cutler, the leader of the House Republicans, is now suing the Pennsylvania Secretary of State. He argues McClinton is not the House Majority Leader and therefore can't set a date for the special elections. The key here is that the three seats now vacant are in very Democrat-leaning districts. So it's likely not a matter of if Democrats will hold on to power, but when. Joining us now to take us through this bizarro situation is Stephen Caruso, Capitol reporter for Spotlight PA, who's been closely following this Pennsylvania House for half a decade. Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it. All right, so what happens now? I mean, they're both swearing their person in. Republicans are swearing their person in. Democrats are swearing their person in. What happens now?
We're going to see what the courts say, and we're going to have these dueling claims of authority. I mean, we're kind of in wait-and-see mode for January 3rd when all the lawmakers will be back in Harrisburg, and they're going to actually elect the next speaker. And honestly, like, that's a lot of what I'm looking for while my reporting is focusing on right now is, can Democrats sort of win over some Republicans to make them have a, get through this inter period where they don't have 102 members, or are Republicans going to all vote party line and elect their own candidate for speaker and really run the chamber until, as you noted, those elections and Democratic-leaning seats are filled? So
is the court, are we expecting the court is going to weigh in before the beginning of the session in January?
I think the one thing that seems clear is, like, there's going to be a lot of pressure on them. There was actually a similar sort of case from 2004, but like where there was this dispute about who could call a special election, though the majority was in dispute, and the court weighed in by Christmas. So, that's a while ago, but I know we're all watching the docket and seeing when they're going to take action. I think they ordered briefs in by Friday.
I want to read from a New York Times article about this, quoting the Pennsylvania Legislative Reference Bureau, a nonpartisan advisory body, which says under current law, an individual must at least be elected and living to qualify as a member of a legislative caucus. The opinion concluding, adding that the House Democratic Caucus falls short of the 102 members necessary for a majority. So it sounds like this organization is saying that they side with the Republicans on this. How influential an organization is this?
They're a advisory group. They write the legislation. I mean, I can pull back and I found that there's an old clip of Brian Cutler on the House floor saying very definitively to his members on an abortion bill that the LRB's opinions on things is entirely advisory and you shouldn't take it too seriously. I think, and that's not to dismiss either of the arguments. There's a real argument here, but everyone, because this is so unprecedented, just sort of reaching for whatever they can to justify why they should pull the gavel.
So thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.